Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you, and I'm going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. I tell you, something that's always struck my interest or caught my, imagination is how Hollywood, in particular, projects itself in creating brands for individuals. And I thought it'd be interesting to have on the program someone who could speak to this, and delighted to have Tiffany Guarnaccia as our guest. And Tiffany, welcome to the program. You're with a firm called Kite Hill PR. You're the CEO and founder. Tell us about the name before you tell us about the firm.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And Kite Hill is a name that when I was creating my new business, I thought was very aspirational and inspirational, and it's very different than some of the other PR names you hear out there. And we are a very new firm, about 2 years old, and we do a lot of work in the media and ad tech and a lot of technology business. And, of course, we look at how we're shaping the brands of individuals who are slowly creeping up and are, I would say, Hollywood in their own right. And in addition to Kite Hill PR, I'm also the founder of Communications Week. So I look at a lot of the bigger trends that are happening within the PR and communications industry in general for that week.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the firm itself, Kite Hill PR. How long have you guys been in business?
So we're new. We're a bootstrap startup. We are about 2 years old now. We work a lot in the New York Silicon Valley area with a lot of companies that are changing the way tech business is done online and advertising technology is done online, where there's some big shifts in the industry happening now. So we help people tell their stories, and that's a lot of what we do here.
Let me ask you about the verticals that you like to work in.
Sure. So it's interesting, and I think for maybe some of the listeners at home, it might be a little bit confusing to say that you do PR for businesses that are shaping advertising and shaping communications, but that's a lot of what we do. So if you look at all of the ways that ads are powered on the internet, that's how we tell those stories for those businesses. So companies that are doing things like changing the way ads are served on your computer or on your mobile device, and mobile is a big trend right now, or looking at how brands and companies can reach different consumers on social media, and that's continuing to change. And those are some of the companies like CrowdTap, for example, that we work with.
Okay. So it's more about their story rather than the business itself. It sounds like you're open to working with a lot of different types of firms.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things, that if you're in PR or if you're looking to invest in public relations, which can be a little bit of a confusing industry, and it's definitely looking for a firm that has some specialization in your industry or in your business niche, because there's some great relationships there. But it's also about working with someone and being a PR agency that you can lean on that can help you tell your story. And I'm a big believer that there's no blanket approach to PR and communications, that you really have to dig into that gold nugget and bit of information as to what makes your business and what makes your story, whether you're an individual or a company, what makes you unique, and how can you communicate that to the right audience and to your right target consumer. And that's what's going to make you successful in PR.
Have you worked in helping media companies, media firms in particular, like those in the news spheres? Kind of give us a view of those type of companies that you may have worked with.
Sure. So I'm someone who's been in PR for over a decade, and before I started at Kite Hill PR, I worked in a couple of different media industries. The most recent media industry that I was in was the Huffington Post, which you might have heard of. It's
I do a column there myself. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
I know. I've read your column and really enjoy it. So I had the honor and the privilege and the exciting role of being the head of communications for Huffington Post for a while. I went in at a time where we were investing in streaming technology and helped to launch their new online video channel. It's called HuffPost Live, which has been a new endeavor for HuffPost, and it's been growing pretty steadily. So while I was there, I worked alongside the founding editor of the Huffington Post. His name is Roy Seacoff, a fantastic guy, and we launched that new channel, and that was very exciting to look at, not only how we were going to tell the story about the launch and kind of pull on some interesting characters to be some of our early guests, but also to introduce folks to the medium. And I think it's very forward-looking of the publication, and was at the time about a year and 2 years ago when we launched HuffPost Live, to think A lot of folks are starting to consume not only content on the internet, but a lot of that content is video. So how do you create an experience, a video experience that connects with people that they can watch and engage with, whether it's live or whether it's on demand?
What was the scope again of the work you did on that?
So I came in at a time, and I came over from the music industry, so had some experience with working with video and online video, and had been someone who was a big believer in always kind of looking around the corner at technology and seeing what's next in the industry. And I was the one who hopped in at a time where we're getting ready to launch the new streaming network, HuffPost Live, and worked with the team there to kind of do all the work beforehand and look at how we're positioning that new network and talking to folks and introducing it to the world. So having that exciting first moment where you got to do the big reveal and have the network go on air. And, of course, Ariana Huffington was the first guest who had the first words, "Welcome to HuffPost Live," and it did the first launch of the network. So it was a very exciting time.
So tell me about the kind of companies and individuals you're working with currently.
So currently, it's a lot of exciting folks who are in the new media business, technology business, and video advertising business. So again, video is booming, as is some of the other parts of the industry, like social media. So a lot of our clients are some names that you might not know at home, but industries that are growing in New York and are really booming on the web. So folks in the digital advertising industry and a space called programmatic advertising. So we work with an ad exchange called PulsePoint. We also do some exciting work with a social media advertising company called CrowdTab, and a company that's similar to, I would say, a Flipboard competitor, a company called Issue, which is, I'd say, one of the biggest startups that you've probably never heard of. They have millions of publishers who are on the platform that consumers to go to read and find interesting content.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. By the way, I do want to mention the website as we wind down. Kite, K-I-T-E, Hill, HILLPR.com. KiteHillPR.com. So how many people do you have on your team?
We are, as I said, a bootstrap startup, and thank you so much for mentioning the website. It's KiteHillPR.com, and we are a growing team. It's about 4 of us in the New York office, but I have an extended network of freelancers and permalancers that I work with that specialize in all of these different areas of technology. I'm a big believer in the freelance economy as it continues to grow.
Yeah, no question about it, and I think it's a great story. I'm really glad you were able to spend some time with me and tell me about it. KiteHillPR.com, and look forward to visiting with you in the future.
Great, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdatareview.com, which is dramatically being improved every single day. New stuff happening there. Make sure you check it out. While they're liking on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. And this is The Price of Business.